So I just want to briefly talk about what holographic sound is before I get started. So holographic sound is an ancient modality. It was practiced in ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria. I don't even think it was necessarily Earth originated. Probably wasn't. So it's an old technique. It's not nothing new. It's not new age in the slightest. And what it is it fuses sacred geometry with sound, primarily sound that is produced with the human voice, to bring through multi-dimensional layers of sound. So 99% of the sound that you hear on any given day is linear, but all sound has multi-dimensional components. So when you're fusing sound with sacred geometry, you're hitting all the dimensional layers of that sound, and you're getting sound in its true and complete multi-dimensional form. And I and many others have found it to be a very powerful and transformative experience. Oftentimes, people can hear separate voices when I'm toning. Voices come like channeled through. There's lots of angelic, ETs of the light, elementals, fairies, lots of beings like to come in as part of like a co-creative process in this journey. So that's what you can expect. And as I prepare to get started, just find yourself in a comfortable position. So probably go about 35, 40 minutes. If you have headphones, put those in. And I think that's all I want to say. So I'm going to turn my camera off so I'm not being distracting. So I'm going to guide you guys in a very brief meditation just to get us relaxed and kind of letting go of the worries and tensions of the day, moving into calling in all the masters and angels to join us in this experience, and then go from there. Started just so you guys can adjust your volume before we get too deep into it. This is roughly the sound that I'll be going at, or volume. visualize or imagine yourself now walking along a beautiful white sand beach as the sun is setting and some of the first stars appearing in the night sky overhead. And as you walk along the shore of this white sandy beach, feeling the warm sand beneath your feet as the waves wash over your feet and a cool, refreshing wind blows by. And you are making your way down this beach, feeling the water caressing your feet, feeling the sand underfoot, knowing that you are safe, knowing that you are infinitely and immensely loved by so many, and that you are deserving of this love. And as you make your way down the shore, you see some cliffs, and from these cliffs a waterfall appears, and you make your way towards this waterfall, taking your time, enjoying the feeling of the sand between your toes, being mindful of your breath, appreciating the water around your feet. And as you make your way to this waterfall, you approach the waterfall and you step beneath the flow, allowing the waterfall to cleanse, clear, and heal your auric field, feeling the gentle rush of water from above, flowing over your head, your shoulders, flowing through your entire body as you feel safe and warm and nurtured by this flow of water as it cleanses, clears, and heals your auric field. And as you're standing beneath the waterfall, you notice a golden glow of light just behind it, and that this waterfall opens up into a cavern. And you begin to walk into this cavern that is illuminated with golden light, with crystals emerging from the walls of this cavern. Quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, lapis. Crystals of all kinds and colors emerging from the walls of this cavern as you make your way through, guided by this golden light. And you find that the cavern inside opens up into a wide space. And in this wide opening is a natural pool of water in which you can float effortlessly. The water is the perfect temperature cavern, illuminated with golden light, floating effortlessly, feeling at peace. Above you, the cavern opens up into the night sky, and you can see the half moon above and the stars that are out tonight. And it is from this pool within the crystal cavern that we will journey tonight. Gayatri mantra. Allow this sound to move through from your crown chakra down into your body, moving through each and every one of the cells of your body, illuminating them to a brilliant, Find yourself now coming back to that pool of water in the crystal cavern, floating effortlessly in the beautiful water, surrounded by the golden light. Making your way out of this pool at your own pace, surrounded by the many beautiful crystals with the night sky overhead. Making your way out the way you came in, passing down the crystal corridor, passing through the gentle waterfall, making your way back to the sandy beach with the water that laps at your feet and the refreshing ocean breeze awakening your senses, giving thanks to the beings of light that joined us here on this journey, that are always with us as we journey through the world, giving gratitude and appreciation for the many blessings in our lives. Bringing your awareness now to your breath, to your body, to the feeling of the bed or chair beneath your body, to the air moving in and out of your lungs, to the sound of my voice, beginning to move your fingers and toes, returning fully now into your bodies, more and more with each breath, inhaling and letting go. Finding yourself fully back into your bodies, back into the present moment. If anyone would like to share, you're more than welcome. I apologize for my cat briefly interrupting with his loud water drinking sounds.
I did not notice the cat. Uh, I was actually kind of toning along with a lot of, especially even just in the beginning with the guided meditation, just yeah, making the sounds, and it was just interesting too during the um, just the sound portion, kind of noticing when the sounds that I was toning were lining up with what you were doing and when they weren't. So there was some moments where I feel like I was even like reaching the end of my breath at the same time, and there was some like almost harmonies happening, and then there were times where it was totally out of sync. But it was interesting.
That's really cool, and I love that you did that because like the human voice is the most powerful instrument on the planet by Liz, and your own voice is the most powerful instrument for you. So it's really important and gratifying and helpful and personally empowering when you use your own voice. And I think a lot of people kind of shy away from using their voice. It's not natural, but that's really beautiful that that was just like the natural thing for you to do. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to have, multiple people together in person doing these kind of vocal tonings at the same time. It's kind of impossible to imagine what it would even be like. I mean, because there's so many situations where people were singing like a song, and I think a lot of the religious choirs are sort of kind of hinting at a little bit of that energy.
Yeah.
But
Um, if you listen to so the person who brought forth this modality, holographic sound, his name is Dr. Paul Hubbard, and every first Monday of the month, he does a basically what I'm doing. He's doing it in person with an audience, and he streams it. But usually at the end of his sessions, he'll do like what I just did, invite people to bring forth sound. So it'll be him sounding, and then like 10 other people also bringing forth whatever comes up, and it is like a really cool experience.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. He's doing that in person, and everything.
Yeah, my cat, he lightly meowed at the door, and I was like, oh crap, I better open this or it's gonna get loud. And then I was. I was cracking up because to me the water drinking sounded extremely loud. It was when I was doing the Gayatri mantra and I was trying so hard not to laugh. Would anyone else like to share? Is everyone else back? Because it is good to fully come back into your bodies as much as you want to hang out in the other realms.
Hmm.
I'm I am here. I didn't go to sleep. Um, that was lovely as always. Definitely get that full body vibration from all of the tones. It's very immersive. Feels a lot uh, like a combination of uh, the Hathor sound meditations, which is cool. I did see uh, like a feline being. It had more of like a cheetah face,
Hmm.
but the eyes uh, weren't like our cheetah type eyes. They had like almost like an amber crystalline quality to them,
Wow.
which was interesting. Like there wasn't like a sclera and a pupil
Mm-hmm.
with the iris. It was just this uniform kind of crystalline amber type eyes. So that was beautiful, and I just kind of felt myself transitioning through the sounds again, and it taking different forms in my mind. It was very beautiful, very healing.
Awesome. Did can you recall at like what stage you saw the cheetah like being? Like was it towards the end?
It was like towards the middle-ish part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't
I think around
it
the
was
reason I asked
it
is because around the middle to the end, I saw a feline-ish being, but it was so quick. But I noticed it was almost like the cheekbones. This part was like a little bit more
Like a
narrow than the typical lion
narrow.
beings that
Yeah.
I see.
Mm.
hmm,
Like a narrow feline being somewhere in the middle part.
Yeah.
I saw a face like this too, but it was in the beginning when you were calling in all of the different spirits. And I was experiencing it when you mentioned the Andromedans specifically, was when I saw it, was when I saw like that kind of face, that feline face.
Cool.
cool.
Would you like to share your experience, Mark?
I find that the felines have been coming in strong for this month of March. I mean, just from my personal experience, like they've been in hiatus for a while. I haven't seen it for a
Mm-hmm.
while, but March has been like they're just coming in really strong. And even today, like, you know, they showed up almost like the Sphinx like a Sphinx, but then it's not the human face, it's the lion face. So it's like, like how it is that we see now, it's the human face.
Mm-hmm.
But that time it was like a lion face and a very narrow looking golden feline being. Like it wasn't very long, like just like a passing image of it. But the one that really stuck me real because my Lemurian quartz was vibrating so much today. And it's the first time I've used a Lemurian quartz, and I was just holding it to go, ooh, what is going on here? Way more than the Labradorite. And there was this I don't know where I was, but it just looks really golden, and I got a panoramic view of a very nice place, and I think I might be on top of a pyramid, just looking over the place.
That's pretty awesome. Did it feel like
Weird.
Egypt or did it feel like elsewhere?
Um, it it to me it was just one pyramid, and the weird thing is like it didn't even feel like it's in the surface,
Hmm.
but it's like there's always like a perpetual sunset even like that feeling, but you can't see the sun. There's no sun, but that's like this golden light around it. And I guess you mount like sort of like a mountain or a cavern on the other side, but I'm like hovering over towards the tip of the pyramid. I'm not standing on the pyramid. I'm like going around almost at the tip of it and just looking at the city.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Um, would anyone else like to share? Does anyone have any questions like about holographic sound or anything?
Do you get kind of like an intuitive uh impulse for the type of tones to sound out? Um, is it like an active, intuitive process, or do you receive the tones beforehand?
Um, I kind of basically I set my intention that the tones that are brought through are going to be perfect for everyone that listens. So everyone that's here and everyone who might listen in the future. And then I kind of just I kind of just set myself as like an open channel for the tones that want to come through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so in the beginning, I realized very early on as I was toning, like the energies that were coming through were quite different than what was coming through for the equinox. session. And I was like, okay, this is intriguing. These are some interesting sounds. And I was even finding this has happened before, but it was happening even more intensely, like my mouth being pulled in certain directions, like I was going like as if someone was like pulling here and like pulling there, or like pulling there.
Wow.
Which maybe would have been disconcerting, but I watch a lot of Daniel Scranton channeling, and he's talked about when he first started channeling, or even right before, nothing would come out, but his mouth would be pulled in these different directions, and it still is now when he channels. But so I was familiar with that. So yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of it comes through like whatever flavor is gonna be right for everyone present. And sometimes I get the sense that there are certain beings whose presence creates certain shifts in the energy of the tone. Like when I saw the feline being, it definitely shifted into something different. And then there's some energy that comes through always that's like a very soft, compassionate energy, and that's when I'm like toning, but it sounds like words, almost light language, but it's still kind of drawn out and
Mm-hmm.
toning. And that was present in the last session I did too. That comes through a lot. So hopefully that answers. Like sometimes it's just the tones that are like coming through, and then there's more like, okay, someone is present, or there's an energy present that's channeling very specific tones.
Yes, that's that answers it very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I noticed I noticed the three-dimensional effect of your toning. Well, it's actually more than 3D. Like the vibrations take on a almost like a geometrical structure
Mm-hmm.
around the body, and that's very cool because it's not like a specific it's not like a specific geometry like the platonic solids, but it's unique to me, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever configuration uh of the tones and vibration and kind of that geometric shape, they'll take on whatever that form is unique to me. um that's the best way I can
No,
describe
I
it.
know what you're
Like
saying.
I'm missing that there's a geometry there too that your tones take on that kind of helps to facilitate the harmony and the receiving by the energy body. And I don't I think that may just be an effect of holographic sound and how other beings tap in.
100%. And that is what makes it so it's interesting that you say that, because what I'm doing before I start, um, like when there was a pause between me saying I was starting and then there's kind of silence before I started, I was setting certain geometries around everyone, each and every
Wow.
individual, and then all of us together. And that's how the multidimensional sound comes through. And I totally think that in the higher dimensions, like in the highest dimensions, sound is a geometry. It's only when it filters all the way down into the 3D do we hear it and experience it the way that we experience it. But I do think its true form is much closer to uh, geometries. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's the multidimensional aspect of it. That's awesome that you're like perceiving that and experiencing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting you did this session today because there a little research release, one of the Saturday channelings of Quo, and they were talking about sound healing and how the vibration of sound can be used to, like, really, it's one of the most powerful forms of consciousness, traveling, uh, healing, all the above, because it's so pure. There's a pure aspect to just vibration. It's not, you're just allowing kind of like this primal energy, primal vibration to move through people.
That's awesome. I read the beginning of that session, but I didn't read all of it. I didn't realize they talked about sound healing. I should go back. I read like when they were talking about like how to mend a broken heart or something.
Okay. Yes, keep going. It's like it's a couple of I screenshotted several parts and like I'm gonna show this to her because this is what she does
That's
too.
awesome.
And it was a little confirmation for me because I I've been called to explore sound, but as it relates to putting my consciousness in the sound and using it as a carrier, like to send it out and to uh when we're reaching out through CE5, uh and the way I was thinking about it is the way that Quo expresses it, as far as like, yeah, you can put your consciousness in the sound and use it as an additional carrier to give it a lot more impact and a stronger imprint and whatever you're trying to do. And I was thinking about how some people doing primarily CE6, they would the they'll hold the radio as if they're going to project something over the radio waves, and they travel millions of miles through space very easily, very quickly, but they put their thoughts onto the radio wave. They don't play a tone, they don't say anything, they just put their thought on the wave. And so that was kind of a click there too.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I feel like you could also basically do that, but like whatever that thought is, like, hey, I'm here at this location, I'm looking to connect with loving beings. You could set that thought, set that intention, and then intend that you're going to tone that thought and also have that carry out on the radio wave.
It's funny too.
Yes.
Your sound is going at the speed of light. It's a sound that you're making here that's also traveling at light speed. Then it's interesting.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I I don't have nearly as much time as I would like to explore that. But what I have had time to do, like, I've noticed that works and takes on an even greater ability when you try to align your tone with one of the solfeggio frequencies. So like you tone at 432 hertz, and I mean, you can do it if you have like a frequency analyzer to make sure you're staying at 432 or 528. I've been trying to get to 936, but it's kind of a hard hold. Uh, but yeah, it's awesome stuff. Thank you for this. This opens up so many different modalities of healing and consciousness expansion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And I encourage everyone, like, use your voice. Your voice is so, so powerful. even just for something, not that this is simple, but as simple as like emotional healing. Like I've been sharing with a lot of people. This is in the Hathor Material book that Tom Kenyon put out. And they talk about how when you have emotions and you don't really process them, when you suppress them, and they end up getting trapped in your energy body. Some people might hold certain emotions in their chest or in their back, around their kidneys, wherever. If you can identify that spot that you're holding the emotion in, and then like intend that you're gonna tone a tone that like resonates with that area of your body. When you do that, it moves that out of your body. Like these things can get trapped, and when they're trapped for so long, they can create physical problems. But when you tone, you're moving that around and allowing it to be released. Um,
Wow.
and I've found that very helpful, and I've shared it with a couple of my friends who aren't really into this stuff. But I'm like, listen, I know this is
Hmm.
gonna sound weird, but like, just try it. And they've tried it, and they said it like they were shocked that it really worked. And they're like, I was making all these crazy noises. I was like afraid someone would hear me, but it works. And if you're afraid someone might hear you, do it in the car. It's like I feel like it's
Yeah.
like the same the concept behind like going in your car to scream.
Oh, yeah.
Because even just doing
Yes.
that is moving stuff out. It's the same concept.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the
That
lines
makes,
are all blurred between, holographic sound and light language and just screaming, and really it's all sort of a spectrum of expression and energy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys for being here. It's really fun. It's really fun for me to do this just in general. Thank you, Ruth, for coming. I'm glad you're able to make it. Um, have a beautiful rest of your evenings. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And see you next time.
Yeah,
You
thanks
too.
again.
Thank
All right.
you.
Good night.
Yeah, good
Thank
Good
Bye,
you.
night.
night.
everybody.
Sweet dreams.